Take one, yeah. Fred Byrnes here again, once more. Show you a few of my paintings and read a little poems, read some poems. It's a good one here, very Pollocky. Jackson. Another one here. This one, done in 2011. And final one here tonight. Also done in 2011. Get a good one. Put them back here. These two jugs over here. Jugs for the Jugger. And tonight I'll be reading from Stopping in Front of the Chelsea. Another book of mine. What are my spectacles? This is called Stopping in Front of the Chelsea. Another painting of mine on the cover. First poem I'll read here is called "They're Poisoning the Hot Dogs in Chicago." 6 feet tall, 135 pounds of almost transparent, bony flesh, with a skeleton skull smile full of brownish yellow teeth, he chattered and sang to himself as he prowled the aisles of a famous name department store, dusting shelves, mopping floors, changing light bulbs. For most it wouldn't be much of a job. For him, obviously with some sort of mental challenge. Let's use the politically correct terminology of the day. It was a career. Performing these tasks, happily saying hello to customers who were appalled by his brownish yellow teeth and starved refugee appearance. Customers who complained about him to the management until enough complaints caused his dismissal. On a cool, gray, overcast spring day, a carload of 6 drunk teenagers drove into the parking lot of the famous name department store. One had to piss badly. They drove near a large green dumpster behind the store. The teenager jumped out and ran to the back of the dumpster. When he returned to the car, he told his friends they weren't going to believe what he found. They followed him, and behind the dumpster, looking like an emaciated corpse, was a recently fired employee of the famous name department store. Next to him was a quart of Gordon's gin, 3/4 drained. Giggling, the other 5 teenagers took turns pissing all over him. Still giggling, they passed around a bottle of gin and finished what was left. That's human nature for you. This is called $1.56. It's a cold, rainy, foggy first Saturday in April, downtown Huntington Village. Jazz is blowing out of a bar. Some guy on a horn echoing notes from the 40s. The Germans have been pushed out of North Africa. The Marines are chasing the Japanese off every island in the Pacific. You look down the street, you can almost see Bogey lighting a cigarette, wearing his cream-colored overcoat with epaulets and gray fedora. But if Bogey isn't there, and if he were, he'd liable to think that the SUVs parked on either side of the street were some sort of secret weapons to help the forces of democracy defeat the evil Axis. You limp past the bar on a bad knee. You left the bar scene over 20 years ago and haven't suffered a broken nose since. A ghost of what you once were in a tweed cap and beat-up leather jacket heads toward a bookstore, leaving barroom heroics to the young and stupid, although it's too early in the night for that kind of drama. In the bookstore, there's a novelist on tour hawking his epic to a seated crowd of 10. As you pay for a used copy of Legs by William Kennedy, you hear the novelist tell the enraptured crowd of 10 he may start to write poetry, as if it's that easy, as if you wake up one morning, look in the mirror, and say, "Hey, I'm going to start writing poetry." The used copy of Legs is half off. It cost you $1.56. You pocket the change and limp out into the cold, rainy, foggy night, unknown to the novelist and his crowd that you've had hundreds of poems published. The limp comes from accidentally bumping your knee on a fire hydrant the day before. The night holds the promise of a broken nose for someone too full of booze. The drive home is pleasant, uneventful. The cops don't bust you for driving while being too full of yourself.